Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine. Time to throw the spotlight on gymnastics. Army-Navy meet coming up this week at West Point with Wyatt LaPointe. And first of all, I got to ask you, so your jacket covers them up, but you've got to have some of the biggest forearms in captivity because how does a guy not only choose rings, but then you've got to get your body in tremendous physical shape to perform on the rings. And I know every apparatus in gymnastics is tough, but watching the rings and watching the way you all go about your routines, it's got to be one of the most physically demanding routines of anything in gymnastics. First of all, why rings?
If you look at me, 190 pounds, 5'10", I'm not your typical gymnast, not your typical size, but from a young age, I really like the rings just because it's not necessarily based on how talented you are, it's just how hard you want to work, because some guys are better at skills and flipping around and twisting, but I like just hopping up on the rings, doing pull-ups, doing muscle-ups, and getting strong.
I was going to say, it puts such a demand. What is the most physically demanding thing about a rings exercise?
I would say the amount of strain it puts on your shoulders. The goal is to make it look easy, but I can tell you 9 guys out of 10 that hop up on the rings are in some sort of pain because it's not easy on the shoulders. Usually in a competition there's so much adrenaline you don't feel it, but it really takes a toll on the body, but it's all fun when the routine's over.
Obviously you had a terrific high school career, state champion, multiple apparatuses that you performed in. As you went forward, why specialize in this, certainly here at the college level where you've done a solid job at it?
So when I first showed up, they like to test the plebes out with, see what events they're good on. And I kind of stood out on the rings. It was definitely one of my better events in high school. Kind of seeing how the other events and what the team needed, I kind of decided that specializing in the 3 events I do, especially rings, rather than becoming a mediocre all-arounder, really focusing on a specific event and becoming the best, hopefully on the team and hopefully in the conference on it.
Is that tough to do? Because everybody I'm sure wants to participate in as much as possible, but as you mentioned, how hard is it to decide, look, I can be good in one thing as opposed to being a 7th or 9th or 4th every now and then type guy in all of the other different disciplines?
It's kind of sad. It's everybody has a bittersweet relationship with gymnastics. I kind of was a little sad when I hung up my high bar grips and stopped swinging high bar. But when you talk about pommel horse, I could kiss that event goodbye in a heartbeat. So everybody, it's a little sad. But once you start really training the event and seeing how far you can go when you spend, instead of a 3-hour practice spread over 6 events, a 3-hour practice spent on 2 or 3 events, how much better you get and how much progress you can make, it's really rewarding.
When you go back and look at your high school career, you were a high school All-American. What was it about this sport growing up that kind of migrated you there? And obviously, as you mentioned, with your build, you could have probably gone on and played a couple of different sports there, but what migrated you toward gymnastics?
I think it was the challenge and the fact that I kind of wasn't, I've had coaches tell me when I was younger I wasn't meant to be a gymnast. And I think that's kind of what fueled the fire, and I could never bring myself to quit. I played lacrosse, I played basketball, I played baseball, I played soccer when I was younger, but none of them really presented the same type of challenge that gymnastics did, and I think that's why I stuck with it.
Obviously, when Coach Fukushima steps aside, they bring in a coach the caliber of Kip, and what has he meant to the program now in his 2nd season as the coach here? And obviously, you all really set the bar quite high in his 1st season with your accomplishments a year ago.
Last season was great. You couldn't ask for more. 10 seniors, one of the best classes I think to come through the Naval Academy. Great guys, great leaders, and great gymnasts. So last year, I don't want to say the success was easy because we certainly worked hard, but we were primed for success. This year with 8 incoming freshmen, I kind of didn't know what to expect before the season started, but you really start to see the trajectory of the program taking it to the next level. These plebes are talented, one of the most talented classes I've seen, and they're hard workers. And I think the success we're going to have this season is really going to just only get bigger and better as Coach Kip moves on into his 3rd, 4th, and 5th year.
Has it really been a challenge for you and Johnny from a leadership standpoint as the seniors on this team? Because you know how difficult being a freshman at the academy can be, let alone not only for a student, but to be a student athlete here. it's probably twice the amount of work. How much have you all had to lead and to bring them along the way as freshman athletes?
I could definitely say the leadership's been challenging at times, but it's definitely rewarding as well. Also having 8 plebes, you get such a diverse background. You get kids that are, extremely well off academically, were prepared well going through high school, kids that come from military families, so they understand the military aspect of things, and you get kids that are phenomenal gymnasts. They understand working, this much in a week, and kind of bringing them all together and helping them get to know each other and share and feed off each other has made the process a little bit easier. We've also had terrific help from our second class and youngsters. They've had a lot of competition experience, and they really understood what it meant to be on the Navy men's gymnastics team last year and the year before, and they've helped us out tremendously in terms of leading the team.
Does anything need to be more said than just looking at the schedule this week and seeing who's on it?
No. The second you sign up to be a gymnast at Navy, that's what's expected. So we plan to go up there and get the job done.
All right, congratulations, obviously, on a lot of accomplishments so far. Best of luck at West Point this weekend.
All right, thank you.
Wyatt LaPointe joining us here on the Navy Sports Magazine.